You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
This is the Undisputed Wrestling Show, and we want to thank Angry Marks Podcast Network, where you can find all of the greatest professional wrestling and mixed martial arts podcasts delivered to you every day. If you just go to iTunes.com and hit the keyword Angry Marks, all one word, hit that little subscribe button, and if you find the gimmick where you can rate us, give us some nice ratings. It helps the algorithms and all that good stuff. And we are also proud to announce that we are being sponsored by T-Shirt World Order, where you can find the latest and greatest independent professional wrestling T-shirts, including ones from the Undisputed Wrestling Show, available in 2 different colors. And you can also save $5 off your order if you use the word at checkout Kongo, Kongo, and you can save $5 off your order. And speaking of Kongo, our first guest tonight is the man behind Kongo Kong. He is the man behind Osiris. He is Steve Wilson. Steve, how are you this evening?
Doing pretty well. I wish I had something to complain about. Even if I did, it still outweighs bad.
Well, our listeners might be confused why I said the man behind Steve Wilson, or the man behind Kongo Kong. Now, it's my understanding that Kongo Kong does not do interviews. Is that correct?
That is correct. If you happen to walk up to Kong at a show and try to talk to him about merch or talk to him about his match, you won't get much of a response. It's more sign language than anything. Why? Because he doesn't talk.
Well, Kongo Kong does not talk, but the man behind him, Steve Wilson, is here to talk with us. And I had mentioned that we are sponsored by T-Shirt World Order, and our listeners can go to T-Shirt World Order and use the keyword Kongo at checkout and save $5 off their order. And the reason I want to bring that up again is because there is an amazing Monster in Kong We Trust T-shirt available on there. It's on page 2 of there. And Steve, can you tell me why you have 2 different shirt colors, but you also have all those the gold and the pink face available in a cotton hoodie as well and a cotton full zip? You must be moving a lot of merch there.
It depends on well, yeah. I'm not sure the exact numbers on the website, but I do see a lot of my T-shirts at different shows, and then I also sell quite a few of them when I go to different places. For instance, Toronto at Destiny World Wrestling, excuse me. And they love the T-shirt, and so they buy them, and I always have to get more from TWO to replace them. And the reason I do 2 colors, my favorite color combination, I think the one that represents me the best, is gold and black, with a hint of silver. I like to always keep some silver in there somewhere. You'll notice that a lot with my gear. You'll either see black, gold, or silver in the gear. And then also the pink, because of I don't know, I guess I like boobies. And I'm not to a point to where I can make any charitable donations to any foundations for breast cancer awareness, but I can help make people aware and get them, to support the cause.
Well, that sounds excellent. So which do you sell more of, the gold or the pink?
I sell more of the gold only because the man at TWO doesn't seem to think that pink goes as well, but I'm all out of pink. So if that tells you anything.
Well, hey, that tells me a lot, actually. I'm going to kick. Go ahead, Kev.
I was just going to jump in and ask, with that, did you ever try to jump in on that white and gold versus blue and black thing?
I did look at it, and I could not tell. I could not tell at all.
I mean, since you're selling the gold merchandise, sell the black and blue too.
That's a good point.
All right, I'm going to kick it over to the Morning Star, the NWA Continental Champion, Will Huckabee. Will, what do you have first for Steve Wilson?
Well, Steve, first of all, as usual, thanks for being on the show. I don't know, what's your 4th, 5th, 16th time?
Maybe 3rd, I think. I don't know.
I
remember one time through with Troy Miller, and then one time while I was in Canada. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, look, first of all, I got to ask you, man, because I just saw him Sunday, and I was asking him how it went. You just had a match for GFW versus Moose. How did all of that come about, and how did you enjoy your match with Moose?
As far as how that match was booked, I have no clue. I guess Jeff or Sanjay Dutt just kind of thought to put the two big black dudes together and see what they can do. I feel like we tore down the house, and I feel like there are more people talking about our match than most of those other matches. So, every time I've been in there with Moose, we've always had a great outcome.
Now, this was the first actual Global Force Wrestling show. This is their first actual event with actual wrestling matches that weren't put on by a different company. How much pressure did you actually feel personally about going in there and knocking one out of the ballpark, or was it just a regular run-of-the-mill, show for you?
It was all the way the day before. My nerves were racked, and all the way till pulling up into the ballpark. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing here? And then I walk in and meet some of the guys that had done the show the night before. That Kevin Matthews guy, oh my God, that dude is huge. Moose and some of the other guys, Chris Masters, these are big dudes. I get it, I'm a big guy, but these are some giant dudes. And TV really does no justice for how big they are. And just to go in there, it can be intimidating, but once the paint was put on and the gear was put on, and I walked out to the ring, and there's some fans booing, some fans cheering, which I'm used to. It was like I was at home. Now, the different thing would be getting in that ring and seeing how many turnbuckles there actually were in that ring, and deciding which corner to run to and which one not to. And I guess on the opposite end of that, when you think about it, there's a turnbuckle at every step. There's so many, I'm talking about the six-sided ring, of course.
Now, okay, Steve, hopefully a lot of people know this. But you actually did, correct me if I'm wrong, you actually did kind of like a tryout, I guess you could say, where Jeff Jarrett actually, I guess you could say, first actually saw you and saw how good you were in Canada. Is working for Jarrett as cool as a lot of people say it is, or was he very standoffish?
Oh, no, Jarrett, man, that guy, at first he didn't know who I was, which was funny. He walks up and he's like looking at me all kinds of strange. And one of the guys that I know that works for him says, "This is Kong." And he goes, "Oh shit." I couldn't tell who you were. He look at you looking all civil and all. I said, "Yeah, this is the Clark Kent look." But yeah, like him and Karen, Jarrett, super nice people. She came up to me and hugged me and was like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad to see you." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm glad to see you too, Mrs. Jarrett."
Now, the last question before I head to Zane for a couple of minutes. With, Global Force Wrestling, ROH, PWG, New Japan, all these different companies that are not with the E, and especially with ROH being on Destination America and stuff. Do you feel that the rumblings is that GFW could be just as good, if not better, than ROH and TNA?
I think it could be. I think Jared has put together right now the roster is pretty huge. Nobody's under any kind of contract that I know of. Excuse me, but he's using guys from everywhere that he can get them from, So everywhere he goes, he's gonna have a different card, different set of guys work with. And, I just think, right now it's probably a weeding out process to see who the fans react to and who they like and things like that before they kind of dwindle down to any sort of, roster. But there's so much unsigned and unlooked at talent out there, you know, and a lot of talent that the main company, you know, tends to overlook. And so the potential is definitely there for Global Force to do big things.
Right, this is the Undisputed Wrestling Show, brought to you by Angry Marks Podcast Network and TshirtWorldOrder.com. Once again, go to T-Shirt World Order, pick out a couple shirts, preferably the Kongo Kong version 2 shirt and the Undisputed Wrestling Show T-shirt. Use your promo code Kongo in the checkout process, and you'll save $5 off your order. So definitely check that out. We are talking to Steve Wilson, the man behind Kongo Kong and Osiris. Steve, you mentioned the six-sided ring for Global Force Wrestling. Are they going to be using that? You're working at least one more show with them, correct?
Yes. Actually, I have 3 more shows.
Oh, I did not know that. I knew that you were booked for 2 shows, but now it's been changed to 4?
Yeah. It originally started off with 3 in July, with the 10th, 11th, and 12th, I believe. And then I lost the 10th and picked up the 24th, which the 24th happens to be the TV tape in Vegas.
Oh, that's amazing. The 24th of July?
Yes.
Okay. How are you going to still be able to make it to Heroes and Legends in Fort Wayne on July 25th?
They already know. They are supposed to be booking me a flight either to leave that same night or first thing the next morning, so I can go back for not only Heroes and Legends, but the Gathering later on that night.
Oh, okay. So you're going to be in Fort Wayne. Okay, let me get this timeline straight. July 24th, you're going to be in Vegas for Global Force Wrestling, doing a TV taping there. And then the 25th, you're going to be in Fort Wayne during the day and early evening, and then going down. Where is Gathering? Is that still in Kentucky area?
No, it's down by Columbus now. So it's
Columbus, Ohio?
Correct.
Okay, so then you're going to be going to Columbus, Ohio for the Gathering. Wow, the life of a professional wrestler.
Hey, it's pretty sweet. And then on top of that, probably Sunday, I'll be flying up to Nova Scotia to do a 4-day tour up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That just seems very busy to me, but that's amazing. So where are you going to be that middle of July? What'd you say, the 11th, 12th, and 13th for Global Force?
Well, I lost the Appleton, Wisconsin one, which was whatever that Thursday whatever that Thursday was. But I will be in Erie, Pennsylvania, which is the Friday, I believe, and then on Saturday we will be in Lake County, Ohio, which is in basically the Cleveland area.
That is amazing. That's awesome. Now, you were just recently out in Delaware too, right?
Week before last, 1CW.
Now, we're buddies. We're Stevie Ray Styles is a friend of the show. Did he specifically mention that he had heard about you through us, or did he do it through more of the traditional means that, you know, you're on your way to being a huge star?
No, I believe it was a combination of everything. There's a guy from Tennessee who his online name is Marquis Garman. I don't know if that's his real name or, you know, what exactly he does in the world of professional wrestling, but he had been lobbying for me to get out to 1CW, and then also the owner of Functified Wrestling, who used to live out on the East Coast, JD Smooth is his ring name. His shoot name is slipping my mind right now. But he had also talked to them about me coming out, and he went out, and like that's actually how I got out there, because it's a long drive, and I don't know if I would have made it otherwise. But yeah, there were several forces at work for that to happen, and it finally did happen.
When you came out, you are such, for our listeners that haven't seen you, they need to go to your Facebook page. You've got a couple of them. If they type in Kongo Kong and it comes up Kongo Kong, the Juggernaut Osiris, that's kind of your one of your fan pages, right? And then if they look up, it'll also probably pull up Steve Wilson, which is your personal Facebook page. They need to check you out. They need to check out your videos to see. But when you first came out, out in Delaware, do you think people had known about you, or do you think that it was just your massive size and just ring presence that won them over?
There were a few that I believe knew about me, but it was similar to the experience in Tennessee, where there were some that cheered, some that booed. Most people were kind of like, okay, who's this big goofball in face paint? And by the end of, they're believers, I guess. They're believers.
We always love Bo Dallas references on here.
And yeah, it's I guess if you don't believe me, watch me.
Well, that is definitely true. Now, I had heard a rumor that you were coming out with a second DVD of your work. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm trying to. If I could ever get the time to sit down and get away from my sewing machine, that would be great. I'd love to get that done.
Well, okay, for our listeners that haven't heard your previous times on here, let them know why you just mentioned your sewing machine.
I have a tiny little company called Juggernaut Gear by Osiris, where I make professional wrestling gear. So if there are any wrestlers, aspiring wrestlers, managers, anybody in the business who would need the type of attire that you just can't find in the store, and preferably not Hot Topic, feel free to give me a buzz.
Hey, Zane?
Yes, sir.
Let me go ahead and cut in right here for a second, and I'm going to give it right back to you. For everybody that's listening, I can legitimately vouch for the quality of his gear. A really good friend of mine, he's a young wrestler making waves in the Carolinas and a couple other places on the East Coast. Timmy Lou Retton has a singlet made by our guest right now. And I will admit that it is some of the best quality gear that I've seen in a long time. There are a lot of guys who come out and they have gear made by other guys and stuff, and eventually just from wear and tear, the seams start frazzling and everything, and seams get busted. And Tim's had his gear for almost a year now, and it looks just as good now as it did when he first got it. So Steve makes really good quality gear.
Well, and hey, let me get over his gear a little bit more. Let me put that over. Some of our past guests that I know that wear your gear, the handicapped hero Zach Gowen and Gregory Iron. I know you've made gear for them, and it looks amazing. And I know that in the past you've made gear for Rhino. Now, is what he's wearing on NXT right now, do you know if that's the same gear that you made for him?
It's the same type singlet, and for anybody that knows Rhino or seen Rhino in person, Rhino's thighs are ridiculous. And he gave me a singlet to go off of, but he said the thighs were too tight in it, so I added a little bit extra to the ones that I made for him, and I guess they ended up too big, and so he was able to go to somebody else and get another one remade fast. So yeah, I designed one like that for him, similar to that, but that current run is not mine. I can't take credit for that.
Okay, all right. I when I first saw him show up on NXT, I had wondered if that was the one that you'd made him. So, and I'm sure that WWE has an in-house staff of people to make all that stuff for him. But you're tearing it up not only on the independent circuit and in GFW, but also helping out so many other workers with great looking gear at reasonable prices, and you custom make everything. You talk with them, right, and find out exactly what they need.
Yeah, if they have an idea, I usually tell them, hey, draw it out, because that's the only way I'm going to know what it is that you were thinking of. You can tell me a million times what it is that you want, but if it's not, if my vision and your vision don't line up, then how will I know? And so then I usually get a pretty good grasp of what they want, and I do my best to make it. And if there's something that I see that, might look better or might work better for them, then I'll suggest it, and, we go from there. And usually
and everybody can look at that Juggernaut Gear by Osiris on Facebook. Juggernaut Gear is all one word, and then by and Osiris, which is Osyris. So, and if our listeners want to know more about the differences between Kongo Kong and Osiris, go to theundisputedwrestlingshow.weebly.com. Listen to the past interviews. We've talked all about that, so you can definitely get caught up on all that. I'm going to kick it back over to the main man, the NWA Continental Champion, Will Huckabee. Will, what's your next question for Steve Wilson?
All right, Steve. All right. All right. Now that we shook everybody's hands and patted everybody in the back and stuff, man. Now we can get to the really good questions. All right, Steve.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Now the big thing right now on Facebook, or everybody was talking about the last, 6-7 months, was this whole Tough Enough contest. And everybody, sending their videos and everything, getting votes and stuff, and now they come down to like the final 12 or whatever the hell it is, like the Bachelorette. What's your thoughts? First of all, what's your thoughts on Tough Enough and how they did the whole application process?
I think with that, they obviously weren't looking for professional wrestlers. They tend to want people that they can, start from the ground up and mold into what they want. They go for a look first and then build from that. Cause I believe only 3 wrestlers made it to the final 12 or whatever. And, it's a giant, excuse my French, giant dick beating contest. And I chose not to participate in it because I'm too old for that. I've spent 15 years, almost 16 years on the independents, and I'm absolutely sure that by this point they know who I am. So there was no need for me to send a video in and try to impress them and, get them to bring me down there to run me till I pass out. I can go out and have a 30-minute match, no problem. Wind sprints, probably not my thing though.
Hey, Will, can I cut in real quick since you cut in earlier on me?
Go ahead, Zane.
All right. Steve, a guy that you worked with, I know he put in an amazing video and he was highlighted on WWE's website, Iron Demon, Shane Mercer. If they're really looking for young talent to be in the ring, he'd be right there.
Oh, no doubt, man. No doubt. That guy, he and I have had some barn burners, and I was just talking to him earlier today, actually, about some things, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for him. I just hope that people don't stand around with their junk in their hands, trying to wait to sign him. I mean, he needs to be seen, and he needs to be seen now. He's easily the strongest guy that I've ever met in my life. Even Moose struggled to pick me up on his shoulder Saturday. I've never had a struggle with Shane. We've done some amazing stuff in the ring. He was the first person I'd ever given a head scissors to. First person I'd ever given a Hurricane Rana to. His strength is ridiculous. The fact that he can take a grown ass man, off the top rope and do a backflip with the grown ass man in his arms. There's no reason why that should not be seen on TV.
All right. Well, I'll kick it back over to you. Thank you for letting me cut in during that.
No problem, Zane. Now, getting back to the whole NXT or whatever the hell it was, Tough Enough. And, you're saying that they should know who you are. Doesn't it just piss you off knowing that there are guys such as yourself and Chance Prophet, Greek God Papa Don, Lennox Norris, guys like you who put in the windshield time, spent years, if not decades, perfecting your craft, and then you got some kind of bodybuilder or model or, washed up third string football player taking no offense to Moose, because Moose is great. So don't anybody listening, don't think I'm talking about Moose, because Moose is fucking amazing and he's paid his dues. But you got these guys who haven't paid their dues that go in there and basically get fast tracked to the big money.
Yep. Yeah, does wear thin on you after a while. You know, you see a lot of guys. The thing that's messed up is that since they didn't have to work for it, they don't appreciate it. And here I am, you know, hoping and begging and you know, just I guess seething for the opportunity to be seen by those guys or to be in that situation where they can say, you know, well, this is wrong with you, or this is what you need to work on, or, you know, and yeah, you got all these people who just kind of, I guess, take advantage of the opportunity, but not necessarily in a good way.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And Steve, don't think I'm asking these questions because I'm trying to get your heat. You know, I'm asking you this because A, you've already been a guest on the show, so we know all about your background. But because you travel up and down the highways and byways and you've seen things, and people that a lot of our listeners haven't had a chance to see. For instance, Shane Mercer, you know, Zane mentioned him and he was like, there's no reason why this guy shouldn't have a job.
Right.
My next question is, with WWE not really looking for professional wrestlers and they're looking more for, models or physically gifted models, I guess you could say. It seems that way, but don't you think at the same time, Triple H is hiring guys who are on the indies like Kevin Steen and Pac and Generico, Sami Callihan, guys who made their name on the indies or get signed to NXT. Do you think that WWE is sending cross mixed signals or what?
I wouldn't say mixed signals. I think I see exactly what they're doing. They figure, hey, if these guys can make it, to the top of their game at the independent level, then we can put them all together down here in Florida and get that type of crowd to come see them. They're, you know, these people are already paying $9.99 a month for our product, or maybe they're not. You know, maybe there's something that is keeping them from doing that. But if they can see their local independent hero, then that's more people to pay that $9.99 a month for the network. And I see exactly what they're doing, and I think it's a great business strategy. And plus, it makes me glad that guys like Drake Younger and Sami Callihan, you know, guys that I've traveled the road with, John Moxley, Dean Ambrose is what he goes by now. You know, Tyler Black, WWE champion Seth Rollins. These guys are not only being called up or, you know, getting their foot in the door, but they're being called up and they're being pushed. And these are your main guys. You know, you look at Bryan Danielson and CM Punk. Those are all independent guys. Those are not WWE handpicked models and whatnot. I can't remember the last time one of the handpicked models really got anywhere.
I'll throw in there right there Trish Stratus. She was a fitness model and she was one of the best workers, but that's been what, 15 years?
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. You know, they went through an era right there where John Cena and Randy Orton came out of, where it was Randy Orton, John Cena, and Batista. Oh, and Brock Lesnar when he was there the first time, that were the four that really made stars of themselves. Everybody else that kind of came from that OVW, they all had the look, but they all did the same thing and presented the same thing. And wrestling was at its peak, in my opinion, when you had guys like, you know, One Man Gang and Tugboat or Typhoon and the Earthquake and, you know, Yokozuna, Bam Bigelow, Big Van Vader. I can name off all these huge guys because they actually had an impact on wrestling. Today, all the fans get to see is Mark Henry and Big Show. And, well, I guess you can count Kane in there too. He's a pretty big fellow. But, I feel like they're being robbed of this whole story of good and evil, or good versus evil, you know, where it takes a while for good to overcome evil. Mm-hmm. And you need legit heels, you know, people that people can look at and say, okay, now that's a badass guy. I don't think I like him. Now everybody's, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, speaking of heels, and I'm going to say that, I'm sorry that I had to ask this one more question, because we're talking about people who deserve to be in NXT and stuff, whoever, indie stars. Lufisto, I'm sure you're very familiar with her.
Yes.
And what do you feel about that whole controversy with her, and her losing the opportunity to go to WWE because of statements she made in the past? And we're not going to say whether she's right or wrong, but do you think that people deserve a second chance and that, the past is the past?
Wait, are you talking about Lufisto or are you talking about Havoc, Jessica Havoc?
Well, I'm sorry, Jessica Havoc. I think because I just seen both of them at Queens of Combat, I was thinking about Lufisto. She's so awesome and sexy. I'm sorry.
That's my favorite
but
pirate.
Yeah. Huh?
I said Lufisto is my favorite pirate right there.
No, she was at Queens of Combat and beat the brakes off of Tessa Blanchard, but we'll save that for later. I had to talk to you about that off air.
Steve, are you familiar with the Jessica Havoc controversy?
Yeah,
no,
that's what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to think of if I even have met Jessica Havoc. I'm sure I have, but please refresh me and fill me in on it.
It's come out recently that they unearthed some old tweets that she had made, very salty, very racial language, and also against homosexuals. And she's come out and said that she was, this was a few years ago. She was stupid. She didn't really understand social media, and she was just trying to, make locker room talk with some of her friends, and it just went out nationwide or worldwide. So she's probably not going to be part of the WWE system any longer.
I want to know what she said now, just in case I do run into her.
I don't think we have enough time to go into it with our interview with you, but just Google Jessica Havoc tweets or something, and you can listen you can find out.
You want me to say it, Nate? I'll say it because I can say it.
Well, okay, you can say it. Well, I can't say it.
One of my favorite ones that I guess she went to KFC and got some chicken from KFC. It was like, oh, KFC. Like, I really like, I think like something like, I really feel like a nigger, or my inner nigger is happy, or something crazy like that. Like, it was a lot of them that you can tell they're not mean spirited. They're said, between the boys / girls in the locker room. When you're in the locker room and you talk to each other and stuff, and you make off-color remarks to each other, that's the tone in which they were written, in my opinion. But there was a couple of racist jokes, a couple of sexist jokes, things like that. Very non-PC.
Yeah. See, even in a locker room, like, I'd have an issue with somebody saying something like, my inner nigger is whatever. It's just stuff that you don't say, you don't want me to say anything about my inner hunky. You know what I mean? Like, I try not to be too sensitive to that, because in the locker room, there are very little boundaries, we do cross a lot of personal lines and a lot of stuff that you would see in a wrestling locker room, you wouldn't see out in society. But yeah, to let stuff like that come out in public, that is a no-no. And I don't know, for WWE to save their face, by not using her, I can't blame them. They have to look out for the product and what's best for them, and what's going to keep money and cash flowing in their direction. And if she's saying stuff like that, that's crazy. Especially with the fried chicken joke. I don't even like KFC all that much. I only eat it because it's here.
I like it all. So.
Give me some Popeyes or some Bojangles or something any day of the week over some KFC. So if she gon' speak candidly like that, you know what I'm saying, she at least need to have some research behind her and know that white or black people really only eat it because it's there.
All right. This is the Undisputed Wrestling Show. We're talking to Steve Wilson, the man behind Kongo Kong and Osiris. We're presented by t-shirtworldorder.com. Go to t-shirtworldorder.com. Check out the Kongo Kong t-shirt and the Undisputed Wrestling Show t-shirt, or any other shirts by our friends like Troy Miller, Lennox Norris, Russ Jones. All those guys have great t-shirts on there. If you enter in the promo code Kongo at checkout, then you will receive $5 off your order. So definitely go check that out. Now, Steve, if I happen to run into you at Heroes and Legends 5 in Fort Wayne, Indiana on July 25th, I give you permission to call me Honky if you want to. That's not a problem. I know if I run into Kongo Kong, he won't be saying anything to me, and he might even growl at me. So I'm telling you on the air that I give you permission to call me Honky.
No need for that. We're all bros.
Now,
We
go
come
ahead,
in
sir.
different. As far as I'm concerned, we come in different shades, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Steve. I'll call him a honky several times for you because I'll be in Fort Wayne that day.
Yeah, I'm super excited because, Will Huckabee's going to make the big trip up to Hoosierland outside of Evansville because he thinks that Evansville is really part of Indiana. It's really just Kentucky North. So we're excited to have him up. Who you working with there at Jason Maple's big show in Fort Wayne, Indiana?
Brodus Clay, provided TNA doesn't get the snag on him or anything, like they did for Global Force, which got me my opportunity. Which thank you, TNA. That's who I'm scheduled to work with, and I'm looking forward to it. It was supposed to happen last year for IWA Mid-South, actually. And things happened and whatnot, and just didn't happen like that. But, as far as I know, that's who it's going to be, and we're going to be an opener. And, to me, that's the second most important, spot on the card because we get to get everything going for everybody else leading up to the main event. So, I'm really looking forward to it and doing battle with that, man.
I'm looking forward to it too because, one of my favorite wrestling things is a big hoss fight, and I can't think of two bigger men that can move as well as you two. I'm really excited about that match.
Good.
So you've been to all 5 of the Heroes and Legends events, correct?
Correct. I actually turned down a tour in Newfoundland because I was booked on Heroes and Legends last year against Gangrel.
I saw that. Great match, and you did some amazing things off the top rope. Very exciting, and it was very cool to see you there. What else you got coming up? I know we mentioned Global Force earlier, and tell us more about the Gathering of the Juggalos.
That's the same night, and it's me versus Shane Mercer in a tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Now, when I mentioned Shane earlier, I had no idea that you guys were working together at that. I know that you worked a couple matches down in IWA Mid-South. Am I correct on that?
Yes, we worked about 25 matches down in IWA Mid-South.
So you're doing a tables, ladders, and chairs match there?
Yes. It's a gathering, and they are expecting weapons and whatnot, and so that's what we were given to do, I guess. Not really, I guess, my forte. I'd rather tell my story without all the extra stuff, but whatever. Pay me. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's the booking that you want. The dream booking. So.
Well, I've seen you wrestle a few times, and whenever you're in the area and I can check you out, I definitely do. I don't think you need all those gimmicks. I think with your character and your ring work and just your presence in there, you don't need all that extracurricular stuff. But as you said, if that's what the promotion wants, then that's what you'll give them.
Right. So yeah, and as a professional, you have to maintain some semblance of dignity, I guess. So as much as they want that particular match, I will give it to them, but I can only give them so much. I won't bleed, or I prefer my opponent not bleed. I'm sure Shane doesn't like bleeding anyway. Just stuff like that. You can do it, but you have to do it to the point where you're not risking life and limb for that particular promotion. And with some of the stuff that I have going up, I'd be absolutely foolish to go in there and do all kinds of crazy stuff and cut myself up.
Well, and you had mentioned, or I had mentioned, I guess, IWA Mid-South, and they're kind of known for that blood and guts and crazy weaponry and everything. How did you get out of not having to, how did you get out of bleeding down there? Because it seems like every other match there's geysers.
I said, hey, Ian, I don't bleed. I'm diabetic and not only that, but, my character really shouldn't bleed, I guess, or there shouldn't be an instance where I am bleeding. And, there's plenty of other guys that like to bleed, and that's, I guess, fine. I prefer them not be in the same match as me, but, it happens, and part of the storytelling, I guess, is old school mentality, old school, Memphis type mentality, where, the baby face is usually the bloody one, by the end of the match. And, those things contributed to me being able to go really 15 years without any blood.
Well, hey, Will, we've got about 10 more minutes with Steve Wilson, the man behind Kongo Kong and Osiris. I've got two, I think, kind of quick questions for him. Do you have anything else before I ask those final two?
I was going to ask him about the gathering, because we've asked several other guests and stuff who've done it, about the atmosphere there. Steve, have you ever worked the gathering show before?
I've worked the last 4 or 5.
Now, is it really as crazy and as wild as they say it is? I've heard it's toned down a lot when the fans aren't throwing stuff into the ring, but are they still just as wild and still just as, bloodthirsty, all night crazy party in the field like they say it is?
It's changed actually from last year, or from the year before last, when we were still out in Illinois, to last year. They are trying to crack down on the idea that Juggalos are some sort of gang, and trying to work with the police and things like that to keep down the fatalities and the excessive drug use, like there was when we were in Illinois. I remember that last year there was several times the helicopters were flying over really close to everything, just to check out what we were doing in case they had to make any kind of invasion or whatever. They're not as crazy as they have been in past. But then again, they still are, and like even the wrestling crowd is a lot better than it has been. I remember, my first couple years just getting doused with things like, Faygo and mixed drinks and beer and whatever else. God knows whatever else. Some of those people are just nasty. And like to the last couple of years, they're not being hardly any of that. So I don't know if the culture is just changing or, they're taking their cues from different people or different things or whatever. And, I don't know, but it's gotten a lot friendlier, people are a lot less hostile. Because I'm not a juggalo, it doesn't mean they don't accept me as one.
All right, Steve.
Go ahead, Zane.
No, go ahead, sir.
So I was going to say, that's about all I had to ask, Steve.
Well, I just have 2 more quick questions. I just went to the Chikara Pro Wrestling show here in Indy on Sunday, and I had a great time. I got to meet a guy that I'm a huge fan of, Blaster McMassive of Devastation Corporation. I informed him that he was one of the inspirations for Beards and Zubaz, my wrestling gang, Beards and Zubaz. And it got me to thinking, if you were to participate, and I'm not trying to start rumors or anything, I'm just asking you, if you were to pick 2 tag team partners to be in a trios tournament with, who are 2 guys that you'd want to be partnered with?
I would have to go with my boy Hillbilly Jed for one. He goes by JD Mariani now.
He's doing great stuff in Emerge in Columbus, Indiana.
Yep. He's probably about a good 400 pounds. He's 5'6" instead of 6'6", but he still does the same stuff that I do, in my matches. And I know this because I stole a lot of my stuff from him. He happens to be my best friend, and he's a big inspiration to me. And, whether he likes to lay claim to that or not, it is what it is. And then also I think, on the other end of that would be Shane Mercer. Like I can think of instances where he's picked me up and tossed me like I was a little child. And I think that, along with my offense, some kind of way we can make it work to where, he'd be tossing us like we're bowling balls, you know what I'm saying? And I think that would make for a good time for the audience and us. I get a kick out of it. Can't lie.
Well, I think that'd be amazing. And you recently did some stuff for New Wave Pro down in Terre Haute, where your boy Mark Vandy is a big part of that show. You teamed with him recently, right?
Oh yeah, that was a fun match. I got to throw a 15-year-old off of a balcony. That was one of my highlights of the weekend.
It wasn't Jonathan Wolf that we've got on later, was it?
No, it was Trevor something. I can't think of his last name. TJ Fantastic, he goes by. But yeah, he's a good kid. I really enjoy hanging around with those guys. They're wanting to be, you know, professional wrestlers like everybody else, and I respect them for that. It was a really good time.
Well, I've just got one question for you, and then we'll wrap up. This past week, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes passed away. You know, what are some of the things that you think about and was he an inspiration to you?
One of my favorite blow-off matches of all times was him versus Ted DiBiase. And just the emotion that went into that match. And he was up in years then, I guess, in his 40s or whatever when they were doing that exchange. But the story that they told, I thought was excellent. You know, just about being a normal person and overcoming all obstacles and you know, being triumphant. And that's where I really learned the story of good versus evil in wrestling and how it attains to wrestling. And I don't know, I like the loss of him was huge, and like watching those vignettes that they put together and stuff like that. I still haven't been able to watch the tribute because I made it home late last night, but you know, watching the vignettes and thinking about, you know, just that past and how much of an entertainer he was, how he wasn't the prettiest guy out there. He was no model or anything like that, but you know, he made it seem possible for guys like me to go out and don the belly high trunks and you know, go on and entertain and put on a good show and you know, he made it true to life that you don't have to be any sort of fitness model. You just have to have heart and dedication and be willing to do what it takes to get to where you got to get and feed your family.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites of all time, and I'm glad that there is things like the WWE Network and the DVDs that they put together. So when my kids are a little older, I can show them, you know, the history of professional wrestling, and Dusty Rhodes was a huge part of that history. Before we let you go, can you let our fans know how they can follow your career and they can see you in any upcoming events?
Oh yeah. Hit me up on Facebook. If you type in Steve Wilson, you probably won't find me unless we have a bunch of common friends. If you type in Kongo Kong or Osiris, that's OSYRIS, you'll have a greater chance of finding me. If you, for whatever reason, can't add me because I have too many friends, like my fan page, by all means. Maybe you should do that anyway. Or give me a follow. At some point I'm going to have to go through and start unfriending people because there's a crap ton of people that I've never heard of or, you know, don't even use their Facebook accounts anymore, or they have 4 or 5 of them. But yeah, like, please feel free to hit me up on there. If you have any questions, I try to take the time and talk to friends, answer any questions. You know, unless you get annoying, then I might ignore you a little bit. But, also, let's see, this week you can catch me at AAW Vanguard in Chicago at the Berlin Eagles Club. The following week you can catch me at not only the King of the Death tournament in the Louisville area. I think it's in Charlestown actually at the Legion. Not only there, but you can catch me on Sunday at the Indianapolis PopCon convention.
Oh yeah, I need to ask you about that. Yeah, the PopCon. You're going to be there. Are you going to be there all weekend?
I'll be there just Sunday, and I'll be seated in the celebrity section. Haha. next to one Mr. Chris Masters, which is actually pretty cool. I got to spend time with him this weekend and talk to him about it. And he had some of the same concerns about it as I did. You know, can a pro wrestler make any money at these things? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm sure going to try.
Well, for all of our listeners that are going this weekend, if you get the weekend pass, I think that Jake Oman's going to be there on Friday. Anthony Tautali with Kinsey Alexander is going to be there on Saturday, and then you're going to be there on Sunday. And they can get more information on that at indiepopcon.com. I think it's amazing that you're going to be at it's not a wrestling convention. It's a pop culture event, and I just think that's awesome.
Yeah, me too. It actually came out because of Kinsey Alexander's mother, and she saw enough in me that she wanted to have me on one of those days, and I'm super stoked about it. Can't wait to do it. But then also after that, I have I think the next big thing is July 11th and 12th. I might be wrong. I believe it's July 11th and 12th in Erie, Pennsylvania, and Cleveland, Ohio, for Global Force. And then the 24th, it'd be in Vegas, Global Force, followed by Heroes and Legends and The Gathering in the same weekend. And then I turn around and I go to Nova Scotia for Ultimate Championship Wrestling. And then after that, there's Evansville for Coliseum Championship Wrestling. And then the week after that, I go down to Tennessee for another tournament, the Scenic City tournament, I believe. That's a 2-day event, on August 7th and 8th. So there's plenty of chances for people to see me. I'm grateful and blessed and loving every minute of it. Some of the old timers used to say, "Hey, it's nice to see you." And the response would be, it's great to be seen, and that is truer than anything I know, because they could be here one minute and gone the next, and it's truly been a remarkable journey, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for all the fans and support and the podcast and the other wrestlers and everybody who's been along on this journey with me, and it's been an incredible situation, incredible ride. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Well, once again, Steve Wilson, the man behind Kongo Kong and Osiris, thank you so much for being on with us tonight. We really appreciate it, and safe travels, because it sounds like you're working so much over the next month, and we really appreciate you taking some time off to talk with us.
I appreciate you guys having me.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, we just have a minute before we have our next guest on, and for our listeners that normally expect one guest in the second hour, we've got a big double header in the second hour. At the top of the hour, we've got the high-flying Italian Vinny Balzano on, and then in the second half, we've got a third-generation wrestler, and this is unique to our show. He is the first third-generation guest on our show. We've got Jonathan Wolf on, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Go ahead, sir.
What's that? Is he still a guest for today's thing?
Yes, I have confirmed that Jonathan Wolf will be on in the second half of the show.
Yay!
Very excited. Very excited. So, Will, very quickly, what do you have coming up this week?
This weekend, I'm defending my NWA Continental title against Big Bam, this guy named Bam and stuff, former NWA Eastern States champion, down here, NWA Rage in Lewisburg, North Carolina. How was your weekend, Dan? Because mine was kind of crazy.
Well, mine was a lot of fun. As I mentioned with Steve Wilson, that I went to the amazing Chikara Pro Show, and it was so much fun. My kids had a great time, and one of my personal favorites, Blaster McMassive, was there. We wanted to do a photo op with him before the show started, and he was wearing like some track pants. And he said, no, wait until later on, and I'll come out at intermission in my Zubaz. So we did that. We got a great photo with him. He was upset that we didn't bring him a Beards and Zubaz shirt. So I will have to send that to him, and hopefully he'll be a guest on the show before the King of Trios tournament. But very nice guy, and very appreciative of the time he spent with me and my kids.
Cool.
So
Guess what I did this weekend?
what did you do, sir?
Hey, I hung out with ROH star ACH all day Sunday.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, I picked him up from his friend. Like, he was visiting some friends in Raleigh. We were both, had to be in Charlotte, or I went to Salem for PWX. And so I picked him up and stuff, and we drove to Winston-Salem, which is like a 2-hour drive. Hour and a half, 2-hour drive. But I got to introduce him to the great phenomenon that is Bojangles Chicken. For any of the listeners that live in like the South and stuff, especially around North Carolina, South Carolina, Bojangles is the bomb. It's better than Church's, better than Popeyes, way better than KFC. I mean, and so I ended up getting him like some free like blueberry hash browns, and he really got hooked up and stuff like for free because I'm an amazing talker.
No, I'm just laughing.
Yeah, and I actually got to meet one of our former guests, Mary Dobson, this weekend.
Oh, Crazy Mary Dobson.
Yes,
NXT
like, oh my goodness. Huh?
Yeah, she's been on NXT as well.
Exactly. Like, I went to, before the PWX show, they had a Queens of Combat show. And Jessica Haddock was there, and Lufisto, and Crazy Mary Dobson. And these ladies, are fantastic. For anybody who says that women's wrestling is all about TNA and hair pulling, has never been to a Queens of Combat show. It was an all-female show, and these ladies, knocked it out of the park, man.
Well, that's awesome. That is awesome. Was my girl Tessa Blanchard there?
Yes, she worked the Queens of Combat show and the PWX show. She worked, actually, during PWX show, she actually worked Crazy Mary Dobson.
I'm sure that was good. Cool. 2 athletic girls. Yeah,
both of her matches. First, she worked Lufisto for the Queens of Combat show, and then she worked Crazy Mary Dobson. So she had a double-headed Sunday, and both of her matches were very physical. Both of those ladies were very physical with her.
Was Pondo there with Crazy Mary?
I didn't see him. He might have been there, but I really didn't see him at all. There was so many people there and stuff, man. Like, I knew who she was because they announced who she was and stuff, and I introduced myself after the show. But, it was just 4 or 5, it was like 300-400 people in this bar and stuff, man. So
that's awesome.
And I was drinking, so.
Well, okay. All right, Kev, are we ready to get on our next guest, the high-flying Italian, Vinny Balzano?
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm sorry, but the person you called...
All right, that may have not been the right number, so I'm going to call this other one because I got 2 conflicting numbers and couldn't get it a straight answer. So we're going to try it again.
Go for it, and I'll shoot him a message if that doesn't work.
Hello.
Hello, this is the Undisputed Wrestling Show. Maybe we speak to Vinny Balzano, please.
You're speaking to him.
Well, welcome. I'm glad that we were able to reschedule. Last time we had some technical difficulties, so I'm glad that you were able to come on this evening. I am the Bearded Wonder, Zane Paisley, and we've also got on with us the NWA Continental Champion, the Southern Gentleman, the Morning Star, Will Huckabee. Vinny, how are you this evening?
I'm fantastic.
Well, I think I saw you this past weekend, and I neglected to say hello because it was so much craziness going on. What did you think of that Chikara Pro Show?
Dude, off the hook, it was amazing.
What was your favorite match or favorite moment from the show?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard question, honestly. You have the opening match was amazing. I think, let's see, it had to be between the main event or Eddie Kingston's match. Had to be, I don't know, they're all good. I can't really pick, so.
Well, I'll tell you my favorite. When they went into the, it was for all of our listeners that weren't there, because I think only Vinny and I were there. That's on the line right now. They had a trios match, of course, because it's Chikara, so they have to have trios matches. And
they had like 10 of them.
Yes, they had like 10 of them. Yes, but there was one match where beforehand they said that The move of the night, if anybody did the move of the night, then everybody would get a free prize. And of course, they announced the move of the night would be the atomic elbow, or the bionic elbow, sorry, from Dusty Rhodes. And so there's a trios match, and all the guys did a 6-way test of strength, which was hilarious. And then that all got broken up, and they all did the bionic elbow. That was my favorite part.
Every man down. Every man went down.
And everybody was going crazy because we all got free Chikara Pro pins. So
which I have right in front of me, and it is amazing. It's part pen, part highlighter.
That is so true. That is so true.
Chikara and their silliness, but we love them.
It was a lot of fun, and I brought that up because I did see you there, and I took my kids to it, and I took my kids to a show about a year ago that you were working, and you worked with Joey Owens, and it was so much fun too. So tell us how and why you got started in professional wrestling.
I've always watched it as a kid, of course, and there's just something that caught my eye about it. I think when I was about 10, I wanted to play baseball, and as I got older, I never pursued that. I just didn't, you know what I mean? So I fell in love with wrestling.
Well,
I fell in love with wrestling, and that was just going.
No, go ahead, sir.
Just the magic of wrestling got me.
Well, I'm going to kick it over to the Morning Star, Will Huckabee, because I know he always likes to talk to people about their training experiences. So, Will, what you got? What's your first question for Vinny Balzano?
So, Vinny, first of all, like Zane said, thanks for being a guest on the show for what is about to be a momentous occasion for the Undisputed Wrestling Show. But yeah, of course, I like to ask guys, where did you train at? Who introduced you to the business, and how rough was your training?
How rough was my training? It was rough in the beginning. I had no clue what to expect, really. Someone told me it was tough, and I never understood that until I got into it and just started traveling. I was traveling from day one, all the time traveling, because I was trying to train. Well, I was trying to train anywhere, but my first training was in Washington, Indiana, which was like 3 hours away from me. So I was like, okay, whatever. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. So that was fine. Did a little bit of stuff there, and then that stopped. So I had to travel somewhere else, and then that stopped, and I had to travel somewhere else. So I went from Washington to Evansville to Illinois, just for training. So it was, and on top of all the training, the physical aspect of it, learning how to fall and whatnot, and just getting our butts kicked left and right. I don't know if I can say ass.
You can say whatever you want, Vinny.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So, just getting our ass kicked day in and day out with hot armories and whatever. I was traveling on top of it, so it wasn't very local. Like, I think most of the guys were very local to wherever I was at. So, Chase Stevens was one of my trainers, Tracy Smothers, Eugene, just to name a couple. I was attending one wrestling school in Illinois for, I want to say like 4 months, but then they closed down. So
you said Chase Stevens was one of your trainers. I've got to ask this question, because I ask anybody who's ever met Chase Stevens this question. How soon after you met him did he give you a hockey punch?
Hockey punch?
Yeah, where he walks up and punches you in the jaw.
Punches me in the jaw?
Yeah, hey, you never got one from...
No, he never punched me in the jaw.
Oh my goodness. Like, okay, well, next time you see Chase, hopefully he punches you in the jaw. He has this thing where, like, if he likes you, he'll just walk up to you and randomly punch you in the face.
Well, I don't really need him to like me then.
I mean, I've told him this ever since I started traveling. I said, we will face one day and we will wrestle, and he said he'd look forward to that and he was excited for it. So,
well, then maybe after y'all wrestle and stuff, he'll punch you in the face.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. He chopped me while training, but never a punch to the jaw. So that experience has eluded me, I guess.
Oh yeah. So you call yourself the Flying Guido. How much of your style, or how much of your gimmick, I guess, for lack of a better word, is based off of, Little Guido and the Flying Italian and previous wrestlers of Italian descent?
I wouldn't say much. Be a little bit here and there. I like to change up my style and like to change up my moveset constantly, so I'm not doing the same thing. Very little. I know it may sound bad, but very little.
Well, I've seen you work, and I wouldn't say that you're trying to go out there and do a comedy thing. You're kind of you fight from the bottom. You're an underdog, and I don't see. I haven't seen you work heel or anything, so I don't see you going out there and being like Santino or anything like that. I think you happen to be Italian and you're proud of it, but that's not. You don't go out there with a goofy accent or anything.
Yeah, it's not, the accent's not there, so I don't really want to do it unless it's good. So, but I am Italian and I am proud of it. Yes, and I don't work heel too much. It just no one finds me that obnoxious, I guess.
Well, and you have plenty of things for sale at your gimmick table. Tell our listeners that are fans of yours now what all you have available to purchase.
If you guys were at that Chikara show, you could see they had lots of T-shirts, which I have T-shirts, and that's about all they had was T-shirts. And I kind of looked at that, and I looked at what I had, and I have T-shirts, and I have hoodies. I have 2 different kinds of wristbands that are mine. Paracord bracelets, they're like survival bracelets, they're kind of neat. All kinds of stuff, So the list goes on. I'm always changing up the table because I think a variety is better than just one thing. I'll have more DVDs for sale soon. It's just a work in progress.
Well, I did find something at Chikara that wasn't a T-shirt. I bought myself and my buddy, the artist known as Chad Engel, and my other buddy, Rich Abbott, my 2 boys. We all got very nice bow ties from Juan Francisco de Coronado, and I love that. I thought that was amazing.
I saw those, and I talked to him about that. I said, these are genius, and no one else has anything like it on these tables. Now, that may be because everyone has T-shirts and kind of forces the fans' hand to just buy a T-shirt, which, it's kind of mean, but everyone's got to pay their bills at the end of the day. So I like to have a variety of stuff. I have, like, pencils and pens and you name it, it's probably on the table. And
trust me.
But the bow ties were very nice.
I've been doing a little bit of ring announcing up in Marion, Indiana, for Intense Championship Wrestling. And I after I got home from the Chikara show, I went online to see how much bulk I can buy of bow ties to sell there. I don't think anybody would buy them from me, but if I can sell a bow tie for $5, I think that'd be a nice little souvenir for a kid. So, some of our listeners might not be that familiar with you, but you're a young guy, right?
Yes, 23.
But you've been in the business since what? You were 17?
I had my first match when I was 18.
That is awesome.
It was a battle royal. And
at that time?
What's that?
Were you out of high school, or were you still in high school when you had your first match?
I was actually homeschooled, so.
Well, yep. You must have had a great support system then to get you involved in all that.
I just went up to my mom and was like, I'm going to do this. She was like, okay. That was about it. So, and the first time I got in the ring, she was like, oh my God, he's going to get hurt. And then ever since that, she was never that worried parent anymore. It was kind of just, yeah, if you get hurt, you know what you're dealing with. So good luck. But she was very supportive. So yeah, I have a lot of people supporting me.
Well, that's awesome. Tell our listeners where are some of the places that you've worked.
Like towns or companies? Both.
I think they're going to be more familiar with towns. You've been over several different states.
Yes. Some towns that I've been to, well, we've already mentioned I was in Indianapolis. I've been in Kokomo, Crawfordsville, Indiana. Let's see, the list goes on. Terre Haute, Indiana. Spencer, Bloomington, That's just in Indiana alone. Been to Illinois 3 or 4 different times now. Let's see, Kankakee, Illinois, West Frankfort, Illinois for training, Olney, Illinois, 1 or 2 times, I can't remember. Yeah, twice there. Crossville, Illinois. So, Saginaw, Michigan. I have a show coming up in Michigan. So, but those are some of the towns and cities. Now you're making me think. I'm trying to think where it was in Ohio, Clint. I had 2 shows in Ohio. Where was the one? I can't think of it off the top of my head.
You'd mentioned Kokomo, Indiana. You just worked for J.H. Hogg there, Shane Kowser, right?
Yes, AACW, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Did you work a trios match against the Elite?
No, we ended up having a tag match against them.
Okay. Tell us about who's your tag partner.
It was, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Well,
but
then how'd the match go?
It went fantastic. Everyone loved it. Got a good response from the tag match, so that ring was very stiff.
All right. Will Huckabee, what's your next question for Vinny Balzano?
Here's my question, Vinny. Wrestling's a very physically demanding sport. Being a smaller guy in professional wrestling, in your opinion, what are some of the obstacles that you face physical-wise when it comes to working the match, putting the match together, talking to the guys you're going to be working with? What's some of the things that you face being a smaller guy?
Things that I had overcome, just trying to be as big as I can as a small guy, you know what I mean? As small as I am, I have to be as big as I can in the ring, you know. For if it's someone my size or if it's someone bigger, I have to be as big as I can, and just like that, overcoming that, being more confident in the ring, that kind of stuff I had to overcome.
Now, okay, I got to ask, because I asked Steve last hour. Did you, with the whole Tough Enough phenomenon that was going crazy in wrestling the last couple of months, did you submit a video?
I did not, and that may seem strange to a lot of people. I didn't feel comfortable yet. I'm thinking if they do it next year, or if they do it every 5 years, I'm thinking then will be my time. And a lot of people told me was like, make a video, submit it, because what's the worst that can happen? They tell you no, or you get on there and you get eliminated. It's still good exposure. It's good learning experience. But when your gut tells you to do something, not to do something, I think you listen to your gut instincts. So I feel like 2 years from now, if they do it, then I'll do it. And I feel like I'll make it on there then. That's why I didn't do it.
Did you happen to agree with, or did you happen to see guys that you didn't know, or did you even keep up with it? If you kept up with it, excluding the guys that you did know, a lot of us knew wrestlers who had submitted videos. Was there anybody in particular that you saw that probably caught your eye, or you thought was like, hey, that guy or female has a good look, or I think they might be a good look to WWE?
My opinions changed about WWE, but if I saw a lot of my friends making videos and putting them up, and I wish a lot of them would have made it because they deserve it and everything. Some guys to mention was what's his name? I'm trying to think. Trevor Owens. He made a video and it was very good. Anthony Tortelli, if I pronounced his name wrong, I'm sorry, but he's got a lot of talent. I think he should be on there.
Well, how is you just mentioned that your opinion of WWE has changed. How has it changed? What is your opinion of WWE now?
So everyone that gets into the wrestling business wants to be a WWE superstar, wants to be in that company, at some point in their life they want to get there. That's like the thing you wake up every morning and go, yeah, that's my goal. That was my goal. When I first got into wrestling, I wanted to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania. That was like my dream. You know what I mean? I don't know if that sounds crazy or not, but that was my goal. was to just do that and then I'd be happy. That's changed now because, well, they've taken that out of WrestleMania, and as I grew, my opinion of WWE changed. And once that changed, I said, well, I still want to be in the WWE. And then, learning more, I don't want to go to the WWE that much now. If it happens, that's great, but as the show we watched this Sunday, I want to end up in Chikara. I think I can fit in there and thrive there, and a couple different shows like ROH and different stuff like that. But I'm not thriving for WWE that much right now.
And you might think it's not as crazy as you sound, because of course I'm pretty sure everybody's heard the story about the Young Bucks and how they were offered contracts for WWE and they turned them down because they were making really good money working the indies and stuff. I want to say, doing something like the Young Bucks and working, for New Japan and a lot of these indie companies, is that what you're hoping for in the future for you?
Yeah, I would say so. It's just staying on the indies. I mean, I know a lot of people would probably slap me and say, "Hey, you're crazy. If you don't want to be in the WWE, you should get out or whatever." So,
It's nice that there are other options right now. You don't have to just make that your one goal.
Right. And with NXT, it's kind of changing again, with NXT becoming more of what it needs to be. Like, that's changing my opinion again. So with what they're doing there, it's becoming something else. It's not just everyone looks at WWE and is like, oh yeah, that, oh, you're gonna be another joke on TV or whatever. I mean, guys are actually getting pushed and used in the right way, so not that I know anything.
Right, Vinny, we need to wrap up pretty quickly, but I did want to let our listeners know that you're going to be on the 20th of June. You're going to be in Crawfordsville, Indiana for NGW. In July, you've got a bunch of events. On the 10th, you're going to be in Richmond, Indiana. The 11th, you're going to be in Sterling, Kentucky. The 24th of July, you're going to be in Michigan, in Wyandotte, Michigan. The 25th of July, you're going to be in Crawfordsville, Indiana. And a big thing that I'm looking forward to, and I'm going to try to make it down there, Saturday, August 8th, you're going to be in Emerge in Columbus, Indiana. Dave Dynasty runs that, and we've had Donnie Idol on before, so I'm really looking forward to that event. Can you let our listeners know how they can follow your career through social media so that way they can keep up with where you're going to be?
Yes, I can. And before I do that, there's two shows you missed, I guess. You got a lot of them, and that's impressive. I can't remember all of them all the time. But I'm going to have a show in August for Pro Wrestling King, and I'll have another one in October. I'll be wrestling twice in one night, two different companies.
Where's Pro Wrestling King based out of?
They're up in the northern part of Indiana. They run in a couple different towns. So okay. I want to say South Bend, but that's probably incorrect. So you can find me on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram. I'm on all of those. Just search me up. I'm on there. Vinny Balzano, or Vinny Pro Wrestling is my Facebook. And Vinny Balzano 7 is my YouTube and Instagram. So please follow me.
Well, we're very excited to have you on. Any parting words that you want to give to all of our listeners?
Thank you for listening, and thank you for following me. These guys are awesome. Thank you for having me on, and hopefully I can be on sometime again.
Oh, well, we would love to have you on. Thanks so much, and I'm so glad that we were able to reschedule with you after the technical difficulties that we had a few weeks ago, and thanks so much for being on. And next time we get Tracy Smothers on, since you worked with him, we'll have to get you on to razz him about something.
That's awesome. That would be amazing.
Okay, I'm serious. We'll get you on next time we have. He's been on our show a few times, and he's a crazy guy. So we love having him.
He's a character. He is definitely a character, and Tracy's awesome.
Well, very nice. Thanks so much, Vinny, for being on. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Hey,
Bye.
Zane.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, if I could just cut in, I was going to ask Vinny, what where in Kentucky were you going to wrestle again?
What was the name of that town?
I believe it was Sterling.
Any idea
Is that
where
what it
that's
was?
at?
What was that?
Do you know where that's at?
I'm not sure.
Because I'm trying to...
Let me double check. I've got a list here for him. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it said July 11th, NOW in Sterling, Sterling, Kentucky.
Because I live in Mount Sterling, but I've never heard of a Sterling, Kentucky, and I'm trying to Google, and I'm like, I can't find anything. So I might have to...
You are right. It is Mount Sterling, and when I Googled it, it came up weird, so I must have put it down wrong.
For Mount Sterling,
It is
Kentucky,
Mount
for what
Sterling.
promotion?
Will you be coming out to the show?
It depends. Where's it at? Do you know location?
I don't have an address exactly.
Well,
Alrighty.
Vinny, do us a favor. Do us a favor. When you find out that, it's Saturday, July 11th. The promotion is NOW in Mount Sterling, Kentucky. Post it on the Undisputed Wrestling Show page, and we'll make sure to send it out to everybody, including our illustrious producer, Killer Kev.
Yes, we have to thank him. And I will put it up there, and I'll put it up on my Facebook page and soon-to-come website. So.
Oh, very nice. Make sure that you let us know when your website comes out.
Of course. It's not up and running yet, so I don't want to talk about it too much. Still having difficulties with it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being on. You have a great evening.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Killer Kev, you need to go and support independent wrestling July 11th, somewhere in Mount Sterling, Kentucky.
Yeah, I am looking at the Athletic Commission's schedule now to see if we've got a date and a time.
Yeah, because in Kentucky you got that weird law that they have to be licensed, right?
Yes. Aha! I have found it. Yes, New Origins Wrestling at the Twist, Shout, and Cheer. That's awesome because I know who owns that building.
Awesome.
Hey, Kev.
Yes.
Are you since you know the person that owns the building, you gonna contact the company and see if you can be the special guest ring announcer too?
I have no idea who owns the. No, I know who owns the building. I don't know who owns the wrestling promotion.
I mean, Will, do you seriously think that little of me that you think anybody can just call up and become a ring announcer? I've been training for my whole life for this.
I've been a ring announcer before.
Oh my.
Well, Zane, I'm not saying you're bad. I'm just saying you're no fink. Okay?
I did it for a couple of shows like a decade ago. So, you know, my skills may not be as sharp as the bearded wonder here.
I'm just saying, Zane, you're good. You're great. Well, I heard you're great, but you're no Howard Finkel. Lillian Garcia.
I might do well just to remember to ring the bell, period.
That's something I still haven't figured out yet. So.
Yeah, well, I'll clue you in. The fancy way they do it now is you pull out your iPhone and you push the button.
No, we actually have a bell, so we're good on that. We've got a real bell there.
You got a real bell now. Does it have the string that you pull that does it, or do you got a hammer?
No, it's a little hammer. It's a little ball peen hammer type thing.
Okay, then you're way step up on us. Ours was like half a bell put together upside down, and I had a wrench.
No, this is a legit bell, and it's not like a million years old. It's nice, and it's got a little gimmick to hold on to the hammer when you're not using it. A little clamp there. It's real nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
They got their stuff together.
I actually worked for a company one time who didn't have a ring bell, and what they did was they used a cowbell.
That sounds amazing.
I've been on shows where like the ring announcer they didn't have a bell at all. The ring announcer just looked just like in the mic was just like ding ding.
All right, guys. I believe we need to call our next guest, which is a very special guest on here. Could you give him a call, please?
Will do.
Hello?
Hello, may we speak to Jonathan Wolf, please?
You're speaking to him.
Well, let me give you a proper introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, the Undisputed Wrestling Show is very proud to have our first third-generation guest on. We are talking to none other than Jonathan Wolf. Jonathan, this is the Bearded Wonder, Zane Paisley. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I am doing just fantastic. We were just talking about how amazing I've been doing as a ring announcer at Intense Championship Wrestling in Marion, Indiana. I have not announced one of your matches there yet, but you got to see me this a couple weekends ago. What'd you think?
I thought you did a great job. You know, you're just enthusiast and everything. You know, you pulled it off. You pulled it off.
Thank you so much. For our listeners that aren't familiar with you yet, your grandfather runs WCW, World Championship Wrestling Outlaws? Is that what the moniker is? Okay. In Indianapolis. Your father is one of my favorite wrestlers, Joey Owens, the chairman Joey Owens, and you are a third generation wrestler. You know, most of the time when we talk to a guest for the first time, we say, "How did you get involved in the business?" But we already know that. Was there ever any pressure on you to go into the family business?
No, not really. Like, they wanted me to do my own thing. They said, "Do what you feel like. We're not going to push you into this. But if you want to do it, we will support you through everything, and we'll show you all we know."
Well, so at what point in your life did you decide that you wanted to start training?
I'd say around when I was like 11. That's when I really, really wanted to do it. Because that's when I actually started like getting in the ring more and messing around with the guys. I was like, as they trained and got done, and I was like, hey, this is actually really fun. It looks cool. Why not go ahead and keep it going, keep the generation going?
That's awesome. Hey, have you ever seen the show that was on WGN called Wrestling with Death? Yes, I have. Did that remind you of your family? And I know it's a reality quotation show, but we all know that a lot of it's scripted. But did you see a lot of yourself on that screen? Yeah, like actually, I've met that. I met that family at a show before, and we're like actually a lot alike. It's kind of weird, like how much we were alike, because like they got started the same way I did. They saw it. And they actually just wanted to do it. Like, they didn't get forced into it. Like, I connected with them, like, really easily. Well, that's very cool. Hey, I'm going to kick it over to our other host this evening. He is the NWA Continental Champion. He is the Morning Star, Will Huckabee. Will, what do you have for Jonathan Wolf?
First of all, Jonathan, thank you for being on our show.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Now, you are in a very elite group. And I don't know if you know this or not, but you're a very elite group of professional wrestlers who can legitimately call themselves third-generation wrestlers. You know, you, The Rock, Randy Orton. Am I missing somebody's name?
I'm sure you are. I can't think of it right now. Maybe somebody from the Inouye family, but
I think
not
like
too
Bray
many.
Wyatt. I'm not even going to count the Samoans. That doesn't even count.
Oh,
we're not going to count the Samoans.
Did you mention Curtis Axel?
Yeah, okay, yeah, Curtis Axel. With all these third-generation wrestlers and stuff, if you can have a match, first I got to ask, you can have a match with any of them, but it has to be them when they first started on their debut match. Who would it be? Like, you can't wrestle The Rock now. You have to wrestle, you can't wrestle The Rock as The Rock. It has to be like Rocky Maivia Rock.
Yeah, it has to be Randy Orton.
Now, why is that?
His chemistry, it's just so beautiful. Like, and like when you like execute a move, dude, it's perfect. Like his power slam, oh, it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. He has like the best in the business.
Now, with you being a third generation wrestler and stuff, and of course, a lot of the boys and stuff in Indiana know about you and know about your family and stuff. Do you ever feel added pressure to live up to the family name?
Yeah, because they see me and they expect so much more out of me. They expect so much out of me. Like, if I don't give it, they kind of, like, I'm afraid they'll give me that look, like, your dad's like that and your grandpa was like that. Well, why ain't you as good as them as they were, like, in their prime? So, yeah, I feel a lot more pressure.
do you ever run across guys who, I guess, would take certain liberties with you because they might have heat with your dad or your grandfather or whatever, or they just want to make a name for themselves and saying, hey, I beat up Don Bash's grandson. Have you run across that kind of guy yet?
No, I haven't got to that point yet, but I have a feeling it's probably coming soon because I'm actually spreading out there more. So, yeah, it's kind of prepared for that thing.
One more question before I pass it on to Zane for a few minutes.
Okay.
Why wrestling? I've got to ask you that. You're still very young. Why wrestling?
I picked wrestling because I grew up with it, and I feel like it's a part of me that I have to do and everything. Like, I just feel like it's meant for me to do that. It's just so much fun. I enjoy it. It's been in my life forever. It just feels like a part of me that I have to, be there with.
All right, this is the Undisputed Wrestling Show. We are talking with Jonathan Wolf, and very excited to have him on there. Third generation guy. Now, Will had mentioned that you're very young. Can you let our listeners know how young you are?
I am 16.
He's 16. All right, and you started training when you were 11. I've seen you. You don't, sometimes you hear of guys in this situation where they work their local promotion. No, you travel all around. Tell our listeners some of the places that you've been to in your wrestling career already.
Well, I've been to ICW, which that's where you're ringing out. I have been to HPW, Hoosier Pro Wrestling in Columbus.
Which they're doing great things down there.
Yeah, it's a great place to be. It's fun. I've been at NEW in Shelbyville. I've been to New Wave Pro up in Terre Haute, Indiana. And right now, that's all I can really think of off the top of my head.
Well, and just this past weekend, you were up in Kokomo for J.H. Hogg, Shane Kauser for AACW, right?
No, I didn't go to that one. I had.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Okay, you had what?
I had a baseball game. I also played baseball too, and during this wrestling and all that.
Is this your high school team?
I played for my high school, but high school's over right now.
Okay, all right. Well, can you imagine that when you were in high school, trying to juggle sports and a professional wrestling career?
I wish I could have. Remember, Jane, we're basically dinosaurs. When we were in high school, we were clock shopping each other and, giving each other the Wolfpack symbol.
I was doing the Four Horsemen symbol, okay?
Oh, well, okay. Well, Jonathan, obviously, Zane is like a decade older than I am.
No,
he was in high school doing the Four Horsemen symbol.
That's with Ric Flair and all them. Yeah.
So, I was going to say, go ahead. I'm sorry, Zane. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Will.
I was going to say, speaking about, you're in high school and stuff. What are your classmates and your teachers and stuff? What do they think about it?
A lot of my classmates think it's awesome. My teachers think it's dumb and dangerous. They said I can get hurt too easy, and they don't like seeing me taking that risk. They think I should stop it, but I love it.
Do they ever come out to the show to support you?
Yeah, a lot of my friends do. My teachers, I've had a couple teachers come. They said it was like one of the best experiences they have ever had with a student, like watching them do a sport.
Go ahead, Zane. I got another question, but go ahead, Zane.
No, go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this. First of all, Jonathan, I gotta ask a disclaimer. First of all, you're by yourself, right? Are your parents listening?
No.
Okay, who cares? Anyway, your dad's in the business. Your dad's in the business. He should know. If regular wrestlers have like rats, we have ring rats. Do you have like, I don't know, turnbuckle mice? I don't get it. Like.
No. I'm dating this girl. I've been dating her for about 2 years now. I'm not worried about no girls. No.
I'm about to say, a lot of us who are of age, who are 18 and stuff, the young girls who are the teeny boppers who are fans and stuff. And of course, we're very polite to stuff without crossing any kind of laws whatsoever because that's inappropriate. but you're at that perfect age where, you know, you can talk to the teeny boppers or you can talk to their older sisters and moms. So I was just wondering how that dynamic went.
Yeah, no. Like, I'm nice to them and everything, you know, but rather than that, no, nothing.
So you haven't got any girlfriend? Do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, I've been with her for 2 years now, so I'm pretty chill.
What does she think about you wrestling?
She hates it too. She hates seeing me, like, she hates seeing it. She's like, she thinks I'm like, I'm going to get seriously hurt one day. She hates it.
Well, I mean, she has a point. You know, there are a lot of guys. What do you have to say? Zane, I'm sorry for stepping on your toes. I apologize.
No, go for it, buddy. I like it.
You know, there are a lot of guys, and I've been one of the kind of guys myself, that say that somebody, you know, to get into professional wrestling is a very physical sport. It takes a huge toll on your body. I'm pretty sure I have to tell you that. I'm seeing your dad and your granddad and stuff with the bumps and the bruises and stuff. What do you got to say to a lot of these guys out here and a lot of these wrestlers is that who think that 16, especially 11 years old, is too young to train somebody to be a professional wrestler? What do you have to say to those guys?
To them, like, I'm saying, if you want to do it, give it 110%. Like, yes, it will do a toll, but that's so much longer. Like, our bodies are so young. Like, our bodies can heal right now. Like, our bodies have enough time to heal. They heal faster. But don't overdo it to where your body can't. Like, I would say train, like, twice a week and then let it sit down and then go to the next week. Don't train, like, 4 times a week because your body will have such a big toll. There's no way of, like, that healing that quick. Just train as much as you want, but take it at a slow pace. You don't want to kill yourself young because you still got all this time to get your name out there. You don't want to kill your body before you get that big push you're looking for.
You know what, Zane? That's probably the smartest and most educated answer I've ever heard in that for that argument about what's the right age for somebody to train to be a professional wrestler.
I mean, this is a smart kid. He's been brought up right. So, I'm sure that he's got a lot more insight just from learning from the family and being around the business his whole life than a lot of guys that, you know, start when they're in their late 20s because they want something to do. So I don't know if I really put you over that much because that's not saying much, but you're a very smart kid and very personal young man. So yeah.
Thank you.
Tell us about WCWO. They run every Friday night. Is that right?
Yeah. Like, up there, it was a great place for workers to work. Like, it's a free show for the workers, you know. It's just a spot for them to come in and, you know, work, just get their, you know, get some, like, it's like a training place for them too. But the fans there, best fans in the world, guaranteed. Like, those fans are so caring. And, like, the environment there, you never walk in and feel like you're not wanted in that place. Like, if you walk in the back with everybody's so welcoming. Like, if you want a place where you feel like a home and not, like, you're not wanting to be there, that's the place to go. Because, like, everybody there is so accepting. Fans are amazing. It's just a great environment.
Well, I just want to give a shout-out to a big WCWO fan, Kevin Mitchell. I think he's there every week, and he seems like a great guy, so I want to give him a shout-out real quick.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy.
Yeah. So, do you like working matches against your dad?
You know, it's kind of yes and no. Like, I love working with him because, you know, we know each other so well. We have such great matches. But also no, because mostly every organization expects me and him just to work.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get to branch off to no other guys. It's usually just me and him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, if I ever go to a show, like a new place, my first match is usually with him because they want to see what I got. Well, so it's more of a yes and no.
You know, I'll put it this way: if anybody's going to make you look great, it's a guy who's been in the business forever, and not forever. I'm not saying that he's old. He's been in the business since he was probably your age, and so he knows what to do to make the other guy look great. And if he really likes you, which I think he probably likes you a little bit, he's going to go with that extra mile to make you look awesome. So,
yeah.
yes, it's a downside that it's probably not that exciting for you to work against him, but also, at least you're not going to be in there with some kid that's, this is his first match and you guys are trying to make each other look great. So,
yeah.
So outside of Joey Owens, the chairman Joey Owens, who are some of your favorite guys that you've worked with?
One of my favorite guys is Ace Perry, one of the best guys ever.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's one of the great persons I've worked. I worked with a person named Sean Kemp. He's a great person to work. I wrestled Bret Havoc, Kenneth James, and what? Who else? Tom Van Zant and Troy Van Zant. They're great people to work too.
And when you mention them, I want to give a shout out to them. They've had some personal things go on recently, and it breaks my heart. So want to send our condolences to that family. So let me change the subject real quick. For our listeners that want to follow your career, how can they? What are some of your social media sites that they can follow and see where you're going to be in the next couple of weeks?
I have a Facebook. It's under Jonathan Wolf, and I'm also about to start up a YouTube page. And if you get on Facebook and get the Jonathan Wolf page, I will post a link to my YouTube channel I'm about to start up.
And I just want to send out to our listeners that Jonathan is spelled Johnathan, and then Wolf doesn't have an E at the end. It's just WOLF. So if they try to look it up, Jonathan with no H, they're not going to find you because there's lots of them out there. So Jonathan, Johnathan, Wolf, WOLF. So definitely go check that out. We need to wrap up here shortly, but what would you like to say to your fans out there?
I like to thank you guys for supporting me and always trying to show up to my shows. And if you ever want to become a wrestler, please follow your dream and don't let no one ever tell you can't do it. Because I'm 16 and I'm doing it right now. It takes a lot of dedication and hard work to do this. So if you want to do it, you got to be 100% serious that you want to do this. And don't ever hurt yourself in it.
James?
Right. Well, you got anything else for Mr. Jonathan Wolf?
No, yes, I do. But I was going to say, he probably tells his fans, he probably would have told his fans, hey, what was the answer to number 14 in Mrs. Smith's math class? But
I was still in school, I probably would if I had to slide one of those in there real quick.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this. Jonathan, you're 16. Obviously, you have years to ply your craft and perfect this. Where do you see yourself at in 10 years?
10 years. Oh. I see myself traveling a lot more, working for places like ROH, PWG, and then hopefully getting a contract to the Fed, WWE.
All right, that's all I got, Zane.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jonathan, for coming on. Once again, and I've mentioned your father and your grandfather a few times. I'm such big fans of them, and I am a huge fan of you. I've seen you work a few times, and one of the times, I don't know, this was about a year ago, maybe a little bit more. You were in a battle royal at a little church here in Indianapolis, and I said, wow, that kid's really got something. And then I figured out that you were Joey Owens' son, and that, I put two and two together. But before I even knew that, I knew that you had something, and so I really wish you well on your career. And obviously, this is the first time, but it's not going to be the last time that we talk with each other.
Thank you, man. It means a lot.
Well, no, thank you, and you have a fantastic night. And all of our listeners, go to Facebook and follow Jonathan, Johnathan, Wolf, WOLF, and make sure that you follow, see what he's going on. What's your next show? Are you going to be WCWO this Friday?
Yeah, and also I got WCW again Saturday in Greensburg, Indiana.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Greensburg on Saturday, Indianapolis on Sunday, or excuse me, on Friday. Well, thank you so much. Have a great evening.
You too, sir.
Thank you. All right. Well, this was our trios night without the Prophet, though.
I know, right?
It was a handicap match. We had 3 against 2, but luckily we had Killer Kev in our corner, kind of even things up just a little bit. Word.
Kevin is a great corner guy to have.
Definitely.
He comes in for that. He comes in for the hot tag every once in a while.
Yep. Go ahead.
I can't believe we had a high school kid up here. For the record, I am copyrighting the phrase turnbuckle mice.
That's very nice. All right, so what do you got coming up this weekend, buddy?
Like I said, I got NWA Rage in Lewisburg, North Carolina at the Lewisburg National Guard Armory, defending my title, the NWA Kongo title, against the former NWA Eastern States champion. His name is Big Bam, or Bam Bam, whatever you want to call him. I'm supposed to be down in Florida next week, but the show got canceled. So, for any of our listeners listening, if you are running June 27th and you would like to have a champion on your show, then feel free to contact me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever the case may be, Gmail or something.
How far are you from St. Petersburg, Florida?
It's about a 9-hour drive. Yeah, because I'm top on 95. It's about 9-10 hours, which isn't nothing. If I could drive to Memphis, which is 16 hours one way, Florida is anything.
Well, I'm actually going to be going down to visit my mom on the. I'll be down in St. Petersburg, Florida, and we are going to a Lucha Libre show down there. So I'll shoot you the info, and maybe you can see if you can get on that show. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, but I've trained with luchas before, man. Like legitimate, not like American Hispanics who put on the mask and stuff and do a couple of rolls and flips. Like legitimate, like guys who work for CMLL or AAA. I've actually trained with those guys and stuff. And before one of them got deported, I'm not going to mention his name, I was actually going to go down to Mexico and take the test to get a license to actually earn the right to wear a mask in Mexico. But then the guy who would not be named got deported, and it was pretty horrible.
Oh, all right. So, yeah. Hey, man. Seriously, I'll send you. I'll find out the event name and send you any info I can. So I think that'd be awesome if you'd come down there.
Thank you. What are you doing this weekend, Zane?
This weekend, not a whole lot going on. Next ICW show will be in August. They're going to take July off because it would fall on the July 4th holiday. So they're just going to skip that. And August 1st, they're going to have a big show in Marion, Indiana, and Boogeyman will be taking on the franchise Troy Miller with his manager Angry McCracken. So definitely check that out.
Angry McCracken?
Angry McCracken. That's his manager's name. So I don't know if you've seen any YouTube videos or anything, but I think you have, and that's the franchise club's new manager is Angry McCracken.
That's his official name, Angry McCracken.
That's that. Yeah, that's what I announced. Angry McCracken. I don't know if he's got a friend named Phil, or a brother named Phil, but that's his name is Angry McCracken.
Who comes up with this stuff, man?
I think you know who comes up with it.
That's what I'm saying. Who told this person Angry McCracken is a great name?
You'd have to ask him.
That's like the second worst name in professional wrestling.
What's the worst then?
The Yeti?
Or
the Ding Dongs? I'll go to Ding Dongs.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Do you know who we've got on next week as our main guest next week on the 23rd?
Who's our main guest?
When you think of wrestling and you think of Portland, Oregon, Who comes to mind?
Roddy Piper?
No, we don't have Roddy Piper. Who else do you think of from Oregon?
Bad Blood. The Ghetto Heisman, Bad Blood.
Okay, you are way off base here.
You asked me who do I think of, man. I said Piper.
You're going to kick yourself once I tell you. This man is involved in some legal action with the WWE right now because of concussions. We want to talk to him about that, and we want to talk to him about his illustrious career. We have none other than Billy Jack Haynes going to be on the show next week.
All right. At first I was going to say Vito.
No, he's not from Portland, Oregon.
That's what, you see, you had me confused. I was like, well, Vito has a lawsuit, but I like Billy Jack Haynes also.
I was a big fan of Billy Jack Haynes, and I can't wait to catch up with him and find out what he's got going on. So,
who else we got?
I'm not sure who the second guest is yet. I'm positive that it's going to be another 5-star guest, but I'm not sure who it's going to be yet.
We should see if we can get like Coco Beware.
All right.
Or Franklin.
WWE Hall of Famer Coco Beware.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. And then on the 30th, we've got an ECW legend, worked in WCW and WWE as well. He's fallen on some hard times. He's got a GoFundMe page to try to help him out with his medical bills, and currently he's confined to a wheelchair, and we'll talk to him about that. Axel Rotten will be on the 30th, so I'm really looking forward to talking with him, finding out how he's doing, and also obviously discussing his career. So next we've got Billy Jack Haynes, and then on the 30th we've got Axel Rotten. So
you know what? I really want to talk to Axel because I kind of stole one of his gimmicks one time.
What did you steal from him?
The Taipei Death match that him and Ian Rotten had.
Uh-huh.
I was a part of a company when there was this hardcore cage match, and I just got introduced to the Taipei Death match, and I just watched it that week. And so me and my infinite wisdom decided that would be a great idea. And so I stayed up all night the night before and like drank like 2 24-packs of beer. So obviously I was still drunk when I got to the show. But I like broke all the bottles in the trash can and crushed them up and then like wrapped my hands on tape and like glue the broken glass in my hands. And then went to the ring, and it was crazy, and like I got all cut up, and the guy got cut up, and the promoter got pissed off because his canvas got ripped up from the glass and stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like a silly thing to do.
It was fun at the time.
Yeah,
so it seemed like a good idea, you know.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you asked me what's coming up this weekend, and I totally forgot. Next Monday, look for me on TV. I probably won't be on there, but I'm going to take my kids to the taping of Monday Night Raw. So I can't remember ever seeing Brock Lesnar in person. It's not like he's going to work a match or anything, but I'm looking forward to that. Seeing him there, and my kids have been to several independent wrestling shows, and this will be their first time at a WWE event, and I've tried to been warning them that we won't go up and talk to John Cena after the matches like we do at most of the shows that we go to. I'm very excited. So.
Well, I mean, you know, you might be able to see him out in town and stuff. If you have like a Gold's Gym anywhere in that city, go to a Gold's Gym, and you're guaranteed to see wrestlers.
You know, actually, I used to work. There's a mall right by the arena, and I used to work on the second floor. On the fourth floor, right, using the same escalator set, there was a gym up at the top. So when I worked there, you know, whenever Raw was in town, I'd see Kurt Angle going up and down the escalator, going to the gym, you know, a bunch of great guys. And that's also where the Pacers play. So, you know, I'd see all the NBA guys. I'd see, you know, Phil Jackson was coach for the Lakers at the time. I would see him going up and down the escalators. Danny Ainge was the president of the Celtics. See him, and you know, it was really cool. Where my vantage point was, I could see all those guys. So that gym's closed, and I no longer work there. So,
I mean, yeah, for anybody who's listening, for any of our listeners who are fans of stuff and want to meet a WWE person, if you can find the most popular gym, it's usually a Gold's Gym or something like that. If you have one of those in the city, that's where you'll usually find the wrestlers at before the show, because we always want to go and work out before show. I was going to ask you, speaking of Brock Lesnar, did you see Raw yesterday?
I did.
What did you think about Kevin Owens power bombing? I can't remember his name. Who was it? What was the guy's name? The idiot rapper. Huh?
MGK.
Yeah. What did you think about him power bombing him?
Well, it was better than when Flo Rida decided that he was a much tougher guy than Heath Slater. So yeah. I was happy that the professional fighter got one over on the rapper. So that was good.
I love the fact that it was on the crash pad. You could tell it was a crash pad.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah. Well, first off, I did like the setup for it, that Owens was clapping, and then MGK wanted to shake his hand, and Owens had already talked about not wanting to shake hands. So I thought that was good setup. But then when the Machine Gun Kelly kid fell, and then Owens had to go and back over and pick him up, and then when Owens was dumping him, it didn't seem like Kevin Owens really cared about that guy's safety too much, because he just kind of hoisted him up and just kind of threw him. So I was really worried about that. And then when they showed him getting off the crash pad, he wasn't selling it at all. Like, did they not clue him in that he needed to act like he was hurt?
Yeah, I don't think somebody told him. I think it was like, yo, you're going to land on this crash. Like, he was going to powerbomb you off the stage, but you're going to land on this great crash pad, and it's okay. And nobody said, hey, act like you're hurt afterwards. Like, if I'd have been Kevin Owens, I would have went and powerbombed him on the floor for real.
Yeah.
Okay, let's add some common sense to those. Seriously. The guy can't sing. You expect him to be able to act too? What the fuck? You think he's Eminem now? I mean, I know he's white, but goddamn.
Well, the best acting yesterday was Seth Rollins when Lesnar came out.
But before we move on from MGK, I do want to throw in that it was also partly the production fault for even showing him leaving. As soon as he got up, they should have cut away and done something else, because it totally made it look like he was never hurt, and that was they should have cut away from it.
But here's the other thing with it though. He's got all his security standing around. What the fuck? You got a dozen thugs right up on him, protecting his back, and they let Kevin Owens step right in.
Hey, he's a prospect.
I mean, seriously? I mean, no support at all from his boys until they carry him out.
You know what? Kevin Owens is, for him to be a Canadian, he's like the meanest Canadian ever. I thought the stereotype was that Canadians were usually very polite and gentle. Like, he's the anti-Canadian.
I know. Peter H. must be holding his head.
Well, but he's not Canadian. Yeah, he's Quebecois, so that's a little different.
You know, I could just hear Peter over there going now, oh jeez.
But yeah, okay, so Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, what'd you think about that, Zane?
I'm excited for it. I think that they're kind of giving it away for a throwaway pay-per-view. I don't even know what this next pay-per-view is called. Do you know?
Battleground. It's called Battleground, Zane.
Okay. So I think they should have saved it for SummerSlam, but whatever. It should be good. I don't know how. I've heard the rumors are that they're setting it up that it's going to be Triple H versus Rollins at SummerSlam. So, but I'm excited for it. I think it should be good.
I think that's a match that they should save for WrestleMania.
What's that?
Rollins versus Triple H. I think that Triple H is at a point in his career where the only time you should really see him work is at WrestleMania.
No, they're setting up The Rock and Rousey versus Triple H and Nipple H for WrestleMania.
Oh Jesus! The Rock's going to knock Stephanie out by accident. Watch.
You were about to say before I rudely interrupted that Rollins is a great actor. Expound on that.
Say again?
Yep. Before I rudely interrupted you earlier, you were about to say that Rollins was a great actor. Can you expound on that thought?
Just the way his facial expressions when Lesnar came out, and then when they were standing face to face, it looked like he had took a shit on himself. But then again, it's not that hard to imagine it's not that hard to act scared of Brock Lesnar when you're standing in the ring with him. Especially, you were legitimately looking at one of the guys who's probably like the most dangerous man on the planet. No disrespect to Ken Shamrock, but Brock Lesnar is probably the most dangerous man to step in the ring with. So it's not that hard to imagine that if this guy really wanted to shoot on you right then, that he really could. There's nothing that Triple H or anybody else could have done to save you.
Yeah.
But his facial expression was so spot on. And when, it reminded me of the old chicken shit champion heels back in the 80s and stuff. When they got a face, the real big baby face or whatever, they come back and they're just like, look, listen, it's not that big of a deal. Like, can you calm down? Like, that was perfect. No words was needed for that.
I agree. I'm looking forward to going to the show on Monday night. I think my kids will have fun. Other than Lesnar, though, I thought Raw last night was pretty abysmal. So
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the Kevin Owens Dolph Ziggler match was okay. Oh, which one? I'm thinking about Lesnar. Did you notice that his Suplex City shirt had Cleveland, Ohio on it?
Yes, and so I'm hoping that here in Indianapolis it'll say Indianapolis, Indiana. I hope they do that market specific, because if they do, I'll have to buy one.
Word. I was about to say, like, I hope there is market specific also. Like, from every city, it's a different little city or whatever on the shirt. Like, I didn't know if anybody else had noticed that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
All right, man, let's go home.
Well, I do want to give a shout out to my buddy, the Abominable CPA. He works out at Pro Wrestling Syndicate out in New Jersey. They've got some awesome lineups coming up in August. Their show on August 22nd. They've already announced Mick Foley, Superfly Snuka, Kenny Omega, and rare United States independent wrestling show with Rey Mysterio Jr. So, and then they've also got announced in September. He's not going to be wrestling, but he's going to be making an appearance. This is his first appearance for an independent promotion since ECW folded. TUWS is going to be there. So if any of our listeners are out in New Jersey, definitely, or New York, it's just a short drive. Pro Wrestling Syndicate. Check out my buddy, the Abominable CPA, and they've got some killer lineups coming up. So check that out. All right, Kev, is there anything we need to plug before we go home?
We will plug Thursday night AMP. We had one guest from Global Force Wrestling on tonight. We will have another one Thursday night. Former Ohio Valley Wrestling heavyweight, television, and tag team champion Jamin Olivencia will be joining the show.
Oh, that's great. That is awesome. Will, anything you need to plug before we get going?
No, I am fine, Jane. Thank you.
Okay, Billy Jack Haynes next week, Axel Rotten on the 30th. Everybody have a fun time, have a great week, and just be safe on your travels.